reckoning, and there will be no shortage of things to do in Columbus this weekend. If you're into the sort of things that you can do in Columbus this weekend, I'm not. I'll stay out in the rural areas of Columbus, but hopefully you'll enjoy dancing with the demons as you go to the Pride Parade tomorrow. I hope you're safe. I certainly don't want anything bad to happen at the Pride Parade. I do not condone or smile upon violence in any single way, but given what happened in Columbus overnight, I'm not sure any part of the city can be considered safe. We have an arrest in the Crum Park shooting, where 2 people were murdered in a drive-by shooting. Actually, we have 2 arrests in that. And we have 3 people murdered overnight. 3 people. 2 outside the Avalon Dance Club in downtown Columbus, and 1 at a gas station on No Bixby Road, in the 2600 block of No Bixby Road. So I've seen the forecast. The weather calls for temperatures in the 90s over the next few days, Sunday, Monday, into next week. We know that criminality, murder specifically, increases dramatically in the city of Columbus when the weather gets hot. People are not inside because a lot of people in impoverished areas of the city don't have air conditioning. The hours of the day are extended to what, 9:30 p.m.-ish. People are outside. If people are outside, if they're hot, if they're miserable, if their living conditions are bad, and they are because of Democratic rule in the city of Columbus and in the United States of America, people get into arguments and things happen. And a lot of bad things happened last night, and a lot of bad things have been happening for what? We're in about a 2-week stretch here where what do we had? Like 7, 8, 9 murders? Mayor Andrew Ginther likes to trumpet the fact that murders are way, 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 way down. He never mentions the fact that they're way, 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 way up during his 3 terms in office. So what happened last night? Well, first the details on the Crum Park shooting. And I talked about how this whole thing kicked off with the senseless death of an 18-year-old girl. You will remember that Demaya Cumberlander was killed when she and I think it was 5 friends were sitting around by the word of the person charged with her death. And he's a 20-year-old male. They were drinking, smoking weed, and playing with guns. They're handing guns back and forth, and not all guns have a safety on them. And he said somebody slapped the gun out of his hand, or he was handing it to somebody, and it went off anyway. Demaya Cumberlander got shot, and she died. Very unfortunate. The end of an 18-year-old life. They then held a vigil for her at Crum Park, and 2 people were shot and killed at the vigil. 29-year-old Lonnie Johnston Jr. and 18-year-old Jaquan Kimbrough. After that shooting happened, Mr. Hairston came forward and said he was the one who accidentally shot Demaya Cumberlander. So what I surmised from that situation was that Mr. Hairston realized that somebody's very, very upset about the murder of Demaya Cumberlander, and he better turn himself in because otherwise they're going to come looking for him. I'm just guessing, but that's certainly, I think, a logical conclusion to draw. Well, they now have, they believe, Columbus Police believe, the Franklin County Prosecutor's Office believes, they now have the people who were responsible for that in Columbus, Ohio. So who got arrested in the Crum Park shooting? Wait. Don't stop counting the number of young lives under the age of 30 that are ruined, because we add to the list 18-year-old Tyrez Turner. He has been arrested for doing the shooting, and 31-year-old LaDavia Fortner is also charged, although her role in the shooting is, as of yet, unspecified in court papers. Mr. Turner is accused of doing the shooting. He is charged with 2 counts of aggravated murder, 4 counts of murder, as well as 6 other felonies, including tampering with evidence and having weapons under disability, which means he wasn't allowed to have a weapon. He has been in the Franklin County Jail since being arrested on June the 6th. So they've gotten information on him, and he is now facing lots and lots of charges, and this young man's life is forever altered. It's a familiar theme on the show to talk about the hopelessness that abounds in our inner city neighborhoods. Two stories that sadly encapsulate that very, very eloquently, although tragically. Now, last night, 3 people murdered overnight. The Avalon Dance Club is at 205 North 5th Street. 2 people were shot and killed. Nobody arrested yet, no suspects. And then we have the shooting outside the Sunoco gas station, 2:15 a.m. Don't know if it's a good guy who got shot, who tried to intervene and stop the robbery. That's happened before in Columbus. Don't know if it's the perpetrator, somebody trying to hold up the gas station, maybe shot by a clerk, maybe shot by a good guy. We don't know the details on that. All we know is that somebody's dead. We don't have a name. We don't have a name on any of the 3 who died last night. And we won't get a statement from the mayor either, because he's probably got a golf tee time today. Now, we also have a story where a 31-year-old activist who's chosen to use what could be time spent in much more productive pursuits, protesting anything and everything that happens in Columbus, accusing Columbus police and the Democratic-led city administration of something that I find laughable. Jordan Laird has the details in the Columbus Dispatch. 31-year-old Elizabeth Andromeda says that she and fellow activists are being targeted by police and city prosecutors. I'll pause and give you time to chuckle over that. Am I to believe, Elizabeth, that a city which paid millions of dollars in settlement money before we have had a verdict in the shooting of Andre Hill, a city that paid millions of dollars to protesters in the June 2020 riots downtown, after which a police investigation exonerated every single officer of any significant crime alleged? I'm to believe that that city, which did not wait for due process in either case, I'm supposed to believe that that city, which has not had control of an entirely Democratic-led city council, a Democrat, because he's not Democratic, law director Zach Klein, a Democrat mayor Andrew Ginther, none of them have lost their jobs. None of them have changed jobs. I'm supposed to believe that in that city, police and city prosecutors are targeting protesters? They wouldn't even arrest Joyce Beatty, Congresswoman Joyce Beatty, head of the Congressional Black Caucus, for slugging a police officer on camera. You, according to Jordan Laird's story in the Columbus Dispatch, Elizabeth Andromeda, are confined to a wheelchair. So our uber conservative, all Democrat city government, which has paid millions again in advance of any verdict that would compel them to pay damages, is now targeting you. Plus, you have the additional intersectionality card to play that you're handicapped. I'm finding that hard to believe. She says, Elizabeth Andromeda does, that she's being targeted for protesting with a group of marchers on February 18th, calling for the retrial of former Franklin County Sheriff's Deputy Jason Meade, who, if you may recall, was justified in shooting Casey Goodson, but because he's a white cop and Casey Goodson was a young black male, we can't just go with one jury verdict. we've got to prosecute meat again. So Elizabeth Andromeda says she doesn't have any money. Well, she must have not got any money in the big settlement from the George Floyd riots. And she says she's not physically able to do any community service because of her declining health. She's able to get out there and protest to her little heart's content.
Clouds and some sun. It'll be humid this afternoon. High today 84. Clear tonight, low 58. Partly sunny, less humidity tomorrow. The high 82. Partly sunny, a hot day on Sunday. High Sunday at 92. Partly sunny, hot and humid Monday, the high 96. And then Tuesday, partly sunny, hot and humid to continue. High Tuesday at 96. Sunny skies on Wednesday, the high 97. I'm Steve Williams on 98.9 FM, The Answer.
Here's great news. If you plan on attending Ohio Christian University as a new traditional student this fall semester at the Circle Hill campus, you can receive a $5,000 tuition scholarship for only $2,500. That's right, get a $5,000 tuition scholarship for only $2,500. One scholarship per student, and all Ohio Christian University admission requirements must be met. Learn more at 989theanswer.com or call RMAT at 614-216-5049.
Or you will history guys, the nation's founding right down to the present. Wars made the United States increased its size.
Thanks for joining. Sorry, I was prepping right up to the edge of the show there, and I didn't have time to greet you at the start of the show. Appreciate you joining us. I'm going to find the name of the Italian Prime Minister.
This is Josh Pick with Atlas Wealth Management. The U.S. and the world have certainly changed a lot in the last few years. We're facing money dangers that we haven't seen in a long time, maybe ever. Inflation continues to be a problem. Interest rate increases have made purchases like cars and homes seemingly impossible for some, and retirement looks like a scary proposition. For many, it appears to be a dire situation and has left them paralyzed and fearful. You are not helpless, and there are ways to gain back control. In Aptus, we help our clients navigate the labyrinth of retirement planning and educate them on how to make appropriate choices for their individual situation.
Level of confusion.
Yourself available to the press, and we're going to ask Rich, what's your take on all this?
Yeah, so maybe it's just
Hi, I'm Paul George with Keller Williams Greater Columbus Realty, host of the Paul George Real Estate Show, broadcasting every Saturday morning at 8 a.m. on 98.9 The Answer. Using over 30 years of trusted real estate agent experience in Central Ohio, I'll share valuable insights into the ever-evolving local real estate market, provide you with current trends, and bring industry experts who will share their wisdom from the art of buying and selling homes. Join me every Saturday morning at 8 a.m. right here on 98.9 FM, The Answer. Westwood Financial Group is not an law firm.
Everyone knows the old saying, nothing lasts forever. Well, whoever said that obviously never bought a condo. Not only do your maintenance fees and investment fees go on forever, they go up forever. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Over 10 years ago, I was a timeshare salesman. But once I saw the dark side of the business, I quit. I started helping folks get out of the timeshare. Since then, we've helped over 30,000 families by getting them out of bad timeshare. If your timeshare agreement goes on forever, if you were told timeshares are a great investment, or your maintenance fees will never go up, you have questions, we have the answer. Give us a call. I guarantee if we take you as a client, we'll get you out of your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call Wesley now for your free information kit. 800-839-8484. That's 800-839-8484. 800-839-8484.
MyPillow.com products on sale, $25. $25, I said. Now, you might think that's $25 off, but I've tried to stress in past weeks that the $25 sale at MyPillow.com is exactly that, a $25 sale. Not everything, not a mattress topper, but Giza Dream Sheets, you can get them for as low as $25. The MyPillow itself. Now, you might say, okay, So the My Pillow, maybe I get the travel pillow for $25, or maybe I get, some dumbed down, less fill, smaller than I need version of the My Pillow for $25. No, it's not right. The actual My Pillow. You need a king size, need a queen size, need it firm, need it soft. However you need it, you can get it for $25. Makes a great wedding gift, makes a great graduation gift. It is an extreme value. And let me tell you, from my experience, the pillow does everything that it says it does not lose its shape. I've slept on one for 8 years, and I go hunting for it when I cannot find it, when somebody tries to steal it off my bed. Don't let that happen to you. Get a My Pillow for $25 at mypillow.com and use my promo code Bruce. Donald Trump made his return to Washington, D.C. yesterday. He spoke at a gathering of U.S. senators and U.S. House leaders. And if Donald Trump can be this Donald Trump, the Donald Trump that he was yesterday, this tenor, this tone, he will look very, very good in the presidential debate, June the 27th. By the way, get your tickets at 989theanswer.com, the debate watch party, which I'll host at Dave and Buster's that night. They're only $10. We have a private room. Get in and don't get shut out. But here is Trump, his opening statement without the bombast, pretty focused, and a very, very effective message. He needs to do a lot more of this.
Well, thank you very much. This was a great meeting. There's tremendous unity in the Republican Party. We want to see borders. We want to see strong military. We want to see money not wasted all over the world. We don't want to see Russian ships right off the coast of Florida, which is what they are right now. That's unthinkable. We want to see just success for our country. And we don't have success right now. We have inflation that's killing everybody. We have levels of inflation that nobody's seen for, they say 42 years, they say 53 years, and they say 75 years. I would say probably all of them are wrong. Probably we've never seen levels like this before. And we're going to end that. We're going to bring back our jobs. We're going to bring back common sense to government. We're going to have strong borders, and we're going to have people come into our country, but they're going to come in legally. They're not going to pour in from prisons all over South America and all over the world. And it's not just South America, by the way, it's all over the world. And we're not going to have them pour in from mental institutions, which is where they're coming from, large numbers, and large numbers are terrorists. And we're not going to have this. So what's happening to our country is of great concern to the group of people standing alongside of me. And I just wanted to say that we have great unity. We have great common sense. A lot of very smart people in this room, and a lot of people that love our country. They love our country beyond just about all else. And the only thing that maybe supersedes it is their family and maybe their faith in certain instances, and that's very nice. They want this country to be great again, and we're going to make it great again.
That is campaign gold. 1 minute and 45 seconds of not talking about himself. He released a campaign ad earlier this week. I had it in my array to play. Maybe I'll play it for you later on. Daily Wire used to do a segment back when Trump was running in 2016. Good Trump, bad Trump, where they'd play a soundbite of Trump. And it was that, what I just played, focused on issues that matter to voters. You get it? He talked about borders. He went to the military. He talked about the Russian ships with the hypersonic missiles that are doing naval maneuvers off the coast of Cuba right now. He talked about getting back to having a successful country, which means getting inflation under control, reinstituting jobs. Not part-time jobs, not jobs given to all the migrants. We gave you the details on that this week, the household breakdown, the payroll breakdown on jobs. The Biden administration cites the jobs which count multiple jobs, part-time jobs, but they don't count jobs that provide income for households. The kind of job you used to think of, hey, when I get out of college, I want to get a job. What does that mean? I want to get a job, not like flipping burgers at McDonald's, not like working a night shift as a security guard to augment my income. No, I want to get a job where I do my 9 to 5 and it pays my family's bills. The Biden administration never cites those numbers because those numbers make their jobs, bills, and policies look horrendous because they are horrendous. And the numbers show it. Trump talked about getting back to common sense, getting rid of like the stupid expansion of Title IX to include men playing women's sports. That's what he means by common sense government. Immigration. And then he gave an homage to people of faith at the end. 1 minute 40 seconds of solid campaign gold. He didn't mention the 2020 election. He didn't mention New York City. And that's all his ad released earlier in the week mentioned. So he's got to do more of that. In the debate with Biden, when he talks about immigration, he's got to talk about Laken Riley and her murder. He's got to talk about the Venezuelan gang, Tren de Aragua. He's got to have examples, and he cannot ramble. He can't get angry. And he also has to balance his time with letting Biden talk. Make Biden talk as much as possible. And that's a winning formula for Trump. Now, the other thing that Trump has yet to do, which a lot of people are watching, and I'm not sure how much difference it makes, is select a vice president. He said yesterday in a question from Aisha Hasni of Fox News that he met Glenn Youngkin, the Virginia governor, and he likes Glenn Youngkin. And he says, he's great. I think I should consider that, meaning Youngkin as vice president. Now, some polls show Trump tied with Biden in Virginia, where Biden won by 10 points the last time. I don't think he should select Youngkin because Youngkin will deliver Virginia, although he might. And if he does, look, I know it's easy to get caught up in the polls and think Trump's got this in the bag. He does not have this in the bag. Right now, would you favor Trump in Wisconsin? I would not. Would you favor him in Michigan? I would not. Would you favor him in Pennsylvania? I would not. Josh Shapiro, governor of Pennsylvania. Gretchen Whitmer, governor of Michigan. Is it Tony Evers, the governor of Wisconsin? They're all Democrats. Do you feel optimistic about it? He's got to win one of those 3 states, even if he flips Georgia, even if he flips Nevada. He's got to win one of those 3 states, unless he flips another state he's not counting on, like Virginia. But Glenn Youngkin would be a great choice. Tom Cotton would be a great choice. Youngkin would be a better choice, actually, than Cotton, because Youngkin is kind of the happy warrior. Cotton is a pit bull, and I love Cotton, and he'd be a great president, but I think Youngkin would be a great president too. And you got to get somebody who can be the standard bearer for the Republican Party after Trump is gone. I will say yesterday that I was listening to a podcast of a guy I really like. He's more profane than I like, and I take him in sometimes small doses, but when I have a lot of time, I listen to the Dan Bongino show. He started either yesterday or the day before with the stupidest idea I've ever heard. Donald Trump Jr. as vice president. I love Dan Bongino. I love your commitment to the country. I love your service in the Secret Service. That is the stupidest idea I have ever heard. You want to lose the election? He said, oh, you get Don Jr. in there as VP, you get 12 years. You get no years, Dan Bongino, if you hire or if you appoint or name Donald Trump Jr. as VP. Yeah, all the suburban moms will go, you know, I don't like Donald Trump, but man, his son, phenomenal. I don't like Kamala Harris's experience, but Don Trump Jr., yeah, he's the guy.
SRN News, I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. The Supreme Court has struck down a Trump-era ban on bump stocks, a rapid-fire gun accessory that was used in the deadliest mass shooting in modern U.S. history. The High Court today found that the Trump administration did not follow federal law when it reversed course from previous administrations and banned the bump stocks amid public pressure after a gunman in Las Vegas attacked a country music festival with assault rifles back in 2017. A Texas gun shop owner challenged the bump stock ban, arguing that the Justice Department wrongly classified the bump stocks as illegal machine guns. Leaders of the group of 7 leading industrialized nations have turned their focus today to artificial intelligence, economic security, and migration on day 2 and the final day of their summit in Italy. On Wall Street, it's slow going. The Dow is down about 100 points. This is SRN News.
This is a consumer alert to all U.S. taxpayers who owe the IRS back taxes or have unfiled tax returns. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, you can now take advantage of active programs that provide relief to struggling taxpayers and may reduce or eliminate what you owe if you qualify, even if you are facing liens, levies, audits, wage garnishment, or already in a payment plan. Call the Easy Tax Relief Helpline now to check what savings you may qualify for at 800-535-7128. You may qualify to reduce up to 99% of what you owe or for other special programs. Once qualified and enrolled, you can rest assured that your assets are protected.
Universities and my net worth is I made a commitment. I'd never own a stock or a bond. I'd never be involved in a business venture. I'd never accept an honoraria. I kept the promise and I sent my kids to private universities, and my net worth is what it was when I started, $55,000 to $150,000. I made a commitment. I'd never own a stock or a bond. I'd never.
The Answer anywhere you go. With The Answer's mobile app at 989theanswer.com. Also on your smart speakers, TuneIn or iHeart.
Attention business owners, medical practice owners, and taxpayers with not so simple tax returns. If you're not getting timely and useful financial advice throughout the year from your accountant, why not? I'm CPA Brad Hennebert from Premier Tax CPAs. And the true value of using a CPA is getting guidance throughout the year, not just at tax time. During the year, we can actively advise you on your financial, tax planning, and other major business needs, just like an outside CFO. Too often, when you see your accountant only at tax time.
Last 3 miles. Alone.
Alone? Well, you should know that my pronouns are they, them. So we can drive in the carpool lane.
I got a driver out here in the
At Premier Tax CPAs, we're a firm that can work with you and your business throughout the year to help you make decisions before it's too late. Give us a call at 614-524-4888. That's 614-524-4888.
Who are the people that serve part-time in the Ohio Army National Guard? We are your neighbors and friends. We are your sons and daughters. Our service is providing us valuable job skills, and it pays up to 100% of our tuition. We're proud to serve our state. We are your Ohio Army National Guard. Learn more about part-time service with the Ohio Army National Guard at nationalguard.com/OH. Sponsored by the Ohio Army National Guard, aired by the Ohio Association of Broadcasters and this station.
He's the voice of a new generation, willing to fight for what's right in the greatest country ever conceived. He's Charlie Kirk, and you can hear him weekdays from 6 to 7, and again 11 to midnight on your station for news, opinion, and passion. 98.9 FM, The Answer.
Hey, tomorrow, while you are out and about, if you need new flooring, stop by the flooring store just down from Costco, and I'll be there 9 to 2 tomorrow, and I can help you anytime. Got a wonderful, wonderful appointment set up for next Thursday with a nice lady who called me yesterday after hearing me talk about how I'd like to help you outfit your home with beautiful new carpet or with vinyl flooring. She's going to do carpet upstairs and maybe do luxury vinyl plank flooring in the basement in their home gym. Can't wait for that. And I would love to serve you too. I can save you money. We have all the major brands, Mohawk, Anderson, Dreamweaver, Shaw, you name it, we've got it. And we get it installed much faster than big box stores do. We're a nimble operation and I'm happy to be a part of it. So if you need new flooring or you have a friend who needs it, go to brucehooley.com, click the flooring tab in the upper right-hand corner. brucehooley.com, click the flooring tab in the upper right-hand corner. I'd appreciate your business and the opportunity to serve you. brucehooley.com, flooring tab, upper right-hand corner. Joe Biden is back in Europe at the G7 summit. That's the leaders of the G7 nations. I think we got France, Germany. I see Rishi Sunak there. I see Giorgia Meloni of Italy there. And it's a good thing Giorgia Meloni of Italy was there yesterday, because if he hadn't been there, well, I don't know whether Joe Biden just wandered off into oblivion or what would have happened to the old boy, as while people were parachuting in, probably in some depiction of D-Day, which Biden was there last week to commemorate. Joe Biden became fascinated by something that did not appear to fascinate or even interest the other 6 G7 leaders, who they stayed focused on the paratrooper in front of them while Biden turned and wandered around. And they're kind of looking at him like, what is he doing? What is he doing? And Giorgia Meloni, bless her heart, went over and quite compassionately grabbed old Joe's arm and pulled him back. And then they're watching the paratrooper, and Biden puts his aviator sunglasses on in very ponderous fashion and appears to like freeze for 30 seconds. But, you know, I saw something that wasn't there. I obviously saw, I'm one of the millions and millions, but approximately 160 million Americans, because we're pretty much divided right down the middle. I'm one of the 160 million Americans who needs an eye test, according to many in the media and many in the Biden campaign and hacks like Mitch Landrieu, who's part of the re-elect effort for Joe Biden. And the chief water carriers and bootlicks are none other than, I played a cut from them yesterday, and I thought, well, I'll have to let that cut suffice today. No, wrong, because Morning Mika Brzezinski and blustery Joe Scarborough were back this morning, turning their tongues black by polishing Joe Biden's shoes, telling you that what you saw, you really didn't see it. And if you saw it, it certainly wasn't what you thought you saw.
It needs to be said. I mean, you have Joe Biden here with a schedule that would be brutal for anybody.
Oh my God.
Oh, brutal schedule.
You know, a couple times on D-Day.
Oh, D-Day.
5 days in France, going over to the G7.
Man.
In the middle of the personal struggles.
In the middle of the personal struggles.
Yeah, Hunter's struggles.
Hunter trial.
Yeah.
And yesterday, I even critics were saying that he did a strong job, very good job representing the United States.
Of course.
Again, we have some cheap fakes that the RNC once again spreading vicious lies about Joe Biden, but that's who they are.
We should point those out.
That's who they've become. We will point that in a second.
We'll get to the second part of Joe Scarborough's comment at some other point, but cheap fakes? Is he suggesting that the Biden video was AI generated or is edited in some fashion? You know, actually it is edited, because I saw the full minute version and it's worse. It's worse. It's just too bad for Joe Biden that he had to fly commercial in the middle seat to get to France for the Normandy celebration. It was so hard on Joe. He had no leg room. The person in the back reclined their seat. Joe wanted to get his laptop out. No, couldn't do it. The people next to him took the armrests. I mean, Joe was just crammed in there, like really tough travel on Air Force One that Joe had on his way to Europe. So that's the Morning Mika Joe Scarborough view of things. But I want to play for you the champion apologist for Joe Biden. In this instance, it is a woman named Adrienne Elrod, who is head of the Biden Re-elect Committee, or one of the top lieutenants on the Biden Re-elect Committee. She went on MSNBC after they were forced to play the video of Biden being rescued by Giorgia Meloni to explain to us that showing video of Joe Biden acting anything but presidential. And by the way, the Italian newspaper headline on Biden's behavior yesterday read like this: long pauses, eyes closed, weak voice. Biden and new doubts about his health at the G7. But not according to Adrienne Elrod, who says that you drawing inferences from what you see Joe Biden doing is an example of Republican Party dirty tactics.
Disinformation is alive and well. We have to use surrogates and voices across the country to combat this and make it clear that not only do we not play this game, but to your point, President Biden was out there literally representing America at the G7, saluting our troops, you know, doing what he does as president of the United States.
Yeah,
and look,
that's true.
This. I mean, this is just the reality of campaigning in 2024. So we have to combat that disinformation. We have to hit it hard when it happens. and make it clear that these are dirty tactics that MAGA Republicans are
super
using
dirty.
Because they can't run on the issues, Lumiere. They have to use these dirty tactics like this because they are not right with Americans on the issues. So we're going to see more of this. We're going to do what we can to combat it. But it does take the voices of surrogates across the country. It does take the media to call it out. It does take social media platforms where a lot of Americans are getting their information to point it out as well.
Dirty tactics. So I have a question. If showing video of Joe Biden is an example of dirty tactics, would quoting Joe Biden be an example of dirty tactics? Because that is what the latest ad from the Trump campaign does. It quotes Joe Biden. Here you go.
We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men and women created by you know the thing. America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. I was in foothills in the Himalayas with Xi Jinping. She knows so long as that's denied. Our freedom can never be secured. We'll never forget lying around and us him lying around actually. It is noteworthy that the percentage of women who register to vote and cast a ballot is consistently higher than the percentage of the men who do so. End of quote. Repeat the line. I'll lead an effective strategy to mobilize true international effort to pressure.
And then on the video comes the words Trump 2024. Joe Biden stumbling, getting tongue-tied. Oh, he just stutters. Bruce, come on. It's not fair. Don't be mean. Dirty tactics. Him repeating the parenthetical directive on the teleprompter, repeat the line. That's not an example of Joe Biden's brain being oatmeal. It's just another dirty tactic. Well, I guess I shouldn't be surprised that Democrats think that Republicans using truth is a dirty tactic, since Democrats never use it. So what do Democrats do? They smear us. Here is Adam Schiff yesterday playing the age-old game of call the other side, well, not deplorable, but the modern version of it.
The party formerly of the moral majority is now, I suppose, hoping to fashion some kind of immoral majority to reinstate Donald Trump as president.
Yes, just if you're keeping track at home, the moral side of the presidential debate is the side that wants to cut off the genitals of children and dismember babies in the womb and allow fully intact biological men to wander around locker rooms where little girls are swimming at the YMCA. Just so you know, that's the moral side. In case you find yourself on the other side, that's the moral side of the argument. We'll have more on Joe Biden's infirmity, ineptitude, and ineffective leadership as the show progresses. And it's not just Joe Biden, it's other Democrats as well. And an interesting question by Congressman Thomas Massey, who maybe has a new task for Manhattan DA Alvin Bragg.
Sun will be humid this afternoon. High today 84. Clear tonight, low 58. Partly sunny, less humid day tomorrow. The high 82. Partly sunny, a hot day on Sunday. High Sunday at 92. Partly sunny, hot and humid Monday. The high 96. And then Tuesday, partly sunny, hot and humid to continue. High Tuesday at 96. Sunny skies on Wednesday. The high 97. I'm Steve Williams on 98.9 FM. The Answer.
Oh, honey, it's our favorite leak filter trusted pro, Matt. Matt, come in, come in.
Hi, Mrs. Parks. You wanted me to stop by? Is everything okay with your leaf filter gutter protection system?
Okay, of course, silly. We wanted you to stop by for dinner as our way of thanking you. Yes, to thank you for that free gutter inspection, the free estimate, and what was the other thing? That lifetime guarantee.
Well, Mr. and Mrs. Sparks, those are just Leaf Filter's policies. Everyone who calls Leaf Filter gets a trusted pro to come out for a free gutter inspection and estimate. And every Leaf Filter installation comes with a lifetime guarantee.
So it's not just us?
No, sir. We don't want anyone to worry about clogged gutters ever again.
You mean everyone gets this level of service?
Everyone. They just need to visit leaffilter.com/Gorka to schedule their free inspection.
Okay, but you must be starving. You work so hard. Ready to love your gutter protection as much as we do? Visit leaffilter.com/Gorka and get up to 30% off today.
See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
Balance of Nature supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
A lot of times people don't understand what a supplement is. A supplement is, in addition to your regular foods, it's really just an incredible formula, and I've been doing nutrients for 43 years. It has a tremendous effect on how I feel, my well-being. I love the way it gives me all my supplements for fruits and vegetables, which I take a lot of anyway. So I find that this gives me that supplement that I was missing before.
Time's ticking. Make a splash into summer with Balance of Nature supplements. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer to get 35% off your first order, plus a free fiber and spice supplement while supplies last, with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. That's 1-800-246-8751. Hurry, this week's your last chance to claim this offer. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this offer by using discount code Mike G.
Hey everybody, Charlie Kirk here. Did you know that 80% of adults take supplements to feel our best, right? Well, one thing your dog can't do without you is improve their diet or health to feel their best. That is why I believe Rough Greens could dramatically help your best friend by adding what is missing to their diet like you do. Rough Greens is helping thousands and thousands of dogs feel better and live longer, including my dog, Mr. Briggs, who loves it. Naturopathic Dr. Dennis Black, who created Rough Greens, is also an airborne ranger and Green Beret, an amazing background. He loves dogs and is on a mission to help as many as he can. Dog food is dead, and Rough Greens supplements your dog's food with existing vitamins and minerals, omega oils, digestive enzymes, probiotics, and antioxidants. Dr. Black is offering you a free Jumpstart Trial Bag. To fetch your free Jumpstart Trial Bag, just cover shipping. Don't change your dog's food. Just go to roughgreens.com/Kirk, ruffgreens.com/Kirk.
Are you among the millions of Americans living with chronic pain? If so, you may think prescription opioids are the solution. Truth is, opioids only mask the pain, and they come with serious side effects, from nausea to withdrawal symptoms to overdose. There is another choice: physical therapy. Physical therapists treat pain through movement and exercise. Choose physical therapy. Visit MoveForwardPT.com. This public service announcement is brought to you by the American Physical Therapy Association.
Well, it's going to be a beautiful weekend. Maybe a little hot, but not as hot as your grill. And if you're cooking steaks this weekend, I hope you're cooking Riverbend Ranch steaks. If you're not, you're cooking inferior steaks, at least inferior to what you could get for probably less money than you're paying now. I mean, you say, oh, wait, I'm ordering my steaks from Good Ranchers or from Omaha Steaks or from Moink or from any of the other meat buying services, Bruce, and they promised me that it's awesome. Well, I'm sure it is pretty good, but it's just not the best you could get, and you're paying a little bit more than you should because Riverbend Ranch steaks are priced lower. And Riverbend Ranch is an actual ranch, Montana, Idaho, Wyoming. I didn't say it was a small ranch. It's a huge ranch. It has to be to sell its beef all over the U.S. The science that goes into this beef, and I'm not talking about phonied up science, I'm talking about the genetics of the Black Angus beef, how it's bred, how it's raised on grassland like it's supposed to be, no hormones, no antibiotics. And the fact that they process it on site, ship it to you, allows them to keep their costs down, which is why you'll pay less. But you'll never get a better steak. New York strip, ribeye, filet mignon, whatever you want. Put your bundle together. Get it every month, every other month. RiverbendRanchSteaks.com/Bruce Hooley. RiverbendRanchSteaks.com/Bruce Hooley. The Italian newspaper that chronicled Joe Biden's eyebrow-raising behavior yesterday at the G7 did not measure up with its headline, Long Pauses, Eyes Closed, Weak Voice, Biden and New Doubts About His Health at G7. Did not measure up to the two best headlines I saw about Biden's behavior at the G7. One of the headlines was Joe Motion. Can we get a Joe Motion replay on that Biden bumble, handshake of the invisible man? That was the runner-up. The best headline, of course, who has the best headlines on a day-in, day-out basis? The New York Post. The New York Post headline on Joe Biden yesterday at the G7 was Meanderer in Chief. Meanderer in Chief. Yes, that is Joe Biden, whether he's on a stage at the Naval Academy or whether he's anywhere. You know, he reminds me of, this is old, it's dated. I'll expose my age on this. The old Carol Burnett show had a character on it played by Tim Conway, where Tim Conway would like shuffle around and you couldn't understand him. He brought the character back for a recurring role on the sitcom Coach for a while. That's Biden. That is Biden. Now listen, you can say, well, you're picking on him. It's ageist. Nope, it's not. You don't get to plead the ageist card when my safety, the safety of my daughters, the safety of your family is at stake because either he's in charge and is clearly limited in his ability to understand. How with it do you think he is? 3 a.m. China begins a naval blockade on Taiwan. Mr. President, can they even get him awake? Do they have to get the paddles out to get him awake? Like, and how with it is he if he wakes up? Which, okay, don't worry, Bruce, you have other people on it. Nope, not an acceptable answer. Not an acceptable answer. In that situation, the American people deserve to know who is in charge and who is making the decisions. And if it's idiots like Antony Blinken, who put together the cabal of 51 former intelligence officers to give Joe Biden a firewall in the debate with Donald Trump after Hunter Biden's laptop came to light, not good enough. If it's Jake Sullivan, idiot Jake Sullivan, who like a week and a half before Hamas attacked Israel said, oh, you know, the Middle East has never been more secure than it is right now. If those two morons are making the call, or if Obama's making the call in his third term, that's not good enough either. So yeah, I get to bang on Joe Biden for his age because it imperils all of our safety. And you say, well, maybe it's the vice president. Sure it is. Sure it's the vice president. Yeah, they're calling her right away. Of course they are. So here's Josh Shapiro, the governor of Pennsylvania, talking about people who see Joe Biden, have questions about Joe Biden, people who are paying outrageously high prices and whose wages have gone down comparatively to the cumulative effect of 20% price increases across the board since Joe Biden became president. But Josh Shapiro, who is chauffeured everywhere he goes and doesn't have to live like a real American in Pennsylvania, Josh Shapiro wants you to know that you are pathetically weak if you support Donald Trump.
I had to laugh today when some of those senators were like standing up there applauding him, the same people that were saying after January 6th that he didn't have a place there, that he had stoked violence against them. Now they're all lining up and they're just showing themselves to be profoundly and pathetically weak people who don't swear allegiance to a flag, but rather just to Donald Trump, who are people who have lost really just the sort of core vision of, you know, Ronald Reagan's Republican Party.
I don't disagree with the fact that we are not the same Republican Party that we were under Ronald Reagan. But what you don't realize, Josh Shapiro, is that one of these two men is going to be president, Donald Trump or Joe Biden. And Joe Biden is not a better choice by any metric. He's just not. And so you can say we're pathetically weak people. If you're talking to me, you're talking to somebody who has come to the realization that I don't get to pick perfect for the next president. I don't get to go outside the lines and select the candidate that I would prefer. Would I prefer Ron DeSantis? Yes. Would I prefer Glenn Youngkin? Yes. Would I prefer Tom Cotton? Yes. I could probably come up with a couple of other names that I would prefer. But I don't get to make that choice because we are a constitutional republic where we vote in primaries, in elections, and the will of the people is enacted. And the will of the people in the Republican Party is that Donald Trump is their nominee. And so I get to pick between Donald Trump and I get to pick between Donald Trump and Joe Biden. And in that choice, it takes me less than a tenth of a hot second to know that I'm going to pick Donald Trump. So don't lecture me about, oh, how can you back this guy? Because of the alternative. That's how I can back this guy. And the other part of it is, you guys want to bang on Trump and tell me he's a fascist and tell me that he's an insurrectionist and parse every single word he says and lie about things he says that he absolutely did not say, like he's going to turn the United States into a bloodbath if he doesn't win. You know that's about the auto industry, where Joe Biden rarely goes out to answer questions. And when he does go out to answer a question, it has to be only the people that have been pre-approved to ask the question. And if they don't ask the question as he is expecting it, then he lashes out at them. This happened yesterday at the G7.
But what more, if anything, the U.S. can do to drive towards a peace agreement? Thank you.
I wish you guys would a little play by the rules a little bit. I'm here to talk about a critical situation in Ukraine and ask me another subject. I'll be happy to answer it in detail later.
I'm expecting Ukraine questions only, please. This reminds me of when I covered Ohio State football and they'd have a kid arrested for something and they'd have a press conference and they say, oh, football questions only, please. Sorry, you got a kid arrested. We're going to ask about the kid who got arrested because you don't make the rules. The White House Correspondents Association, which is clearly frustrated that Biden never comes out and answers questions from them unless there's a helicopter whirring while he bumbles his way off to Delaware for another weekend in the sun at one of his many multi-million-dollar beach houses that he somehow affords without collecting bags of cash from oligarchs around the world. The White House Correspondents Association says it is in the public interest to make clear that at a presidential press conference at home or abroad, there are no preconditions regarding question topics. Well, nice to know you finally got a conscience about journalism. While the White House does determine the number of reporters the president will recognize, it is up to the professional journalist to decide what to ask. Yeah, it is.
The IRS finally caught up with Louis.
I haven't paid my taxes in 8 years. I owe the IRS a lot of money.
Louis was in deep trouble.
We're going to take your house, put a lien on your bank account.
All right, that'll do it. Round number one, Bruce Hooley Show. Thanks for joining. Hope you guys have a great weekend, phenomenal weekend. And I'll see you back here again on Monday. Appreciate it if you share the content with like-minded folks, or even more particularly people who are not like-minded, because they need to hear the truth and they need to be exposed to a different viewpoint than they're getting on the idiotic, stupid bootlick networks like MSNBC and all the other major networks that they're watching to get their news. With that, hat tip to you. Have a great weekend.